Okay, so I'm recording now. All right, so again with these problems, you're trying to use the scale factor in order to figure out the missing side. Now, if you guys remember from last time in your notes, that first we started with just finding the scale factor. And again, this is based on the worksheet that was posted in the first folder, which would be this one, polygons, similar polygons, and scale factor, this worksheet in particular. But this stuff applies to problems later in the week and also to future problems that we're going to see. And in particular, we're going to focus in on this one, the last section, when you're using the congruence statement, which is what that is called when you have like one triangle, this symbol in the middle, and we'll talk about what those mean. Okay, so that's what I'm referring to. But again, this also applies to IXL assignments that you guys are doing. So the key thing with this was finding the scale factor between two shapes was figuring out what sides correspond, like what sides match up in location. Okay, so here, these two sides correspond because the picture, you can just look at it and see that. Down here, it was the same thing. You could just look at the picture and see where the two corresponding sides match up. When we got to this one, you could not just look at the picture and say, oh, the one on the bottom matches the one on the bottom. That's not the case because you have to look at the statement in order to figure that out. So for instance, the first two letters here, AB, correspond with the first two letters here, FE, which means this side corresponds to that side. Okay, so they match up. All right, so when we look at this next one, we're gonna have to start off with that idea as well. Again, I always encourage you guys to use highlighters when you take notes. Okay, so first, we want to figure out, that's the side we're looking for. So really, that's the only one we need to focus on. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say the only side because we need two sides to set up this equation. All right, so first we're looking for that side. And again, I always like to say, we'll just call that X, the side that's missing. And we want to look for the corresponding side to SR. All right, well, I go back to the statement. And you see the SR or RS is right there, the last two letters. So I go over to this part of the statement, and that means that DE matches that side. So that means that this side matches this side. Even though in the picture it doesn't look like it, it does. Okay, so we need one more pair because we need two total. All right, so here we're going to use RQ or QR. So I go back to the statement, and you can see the first two letters are QR. So I go to the first two letters of the other statement for triangle CDE, and CD is the corresponding side, so this side right here. So to set up the equation, okay, just like we did over here in these problems, I start with X on the top, the missing side. Okay. So, and then I put the corresponding side right below it. So the corresponding side or the matching side is 22. And I set that equal to another two corresponding sides. So again, I go back to that, the one that's missing, or the one that has a side missing, and I start put the 35 on top. And then I go to the corresponding side, which is 14, that goes on the bottom. So here, that's the missing side. And then this is the corresponding side. So corresponding side. Okay, I'll pause. Now, to solve that equation, just like we did in these other ones, I look at the number on the bottom left, right below the X. Here I multiplied 7 both sides. Here I multiplied 65 both sides. So here we'll multiply 22 both sides. Multiply 22 over here, multiply 22 over here, and the 22 cancels. And when we multiply 35 times 22 and then divide by 14, that should give us the length of the missing side, or length RS, or SR. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go to Desmos, use my Desmos calculator here, and I'll just set that up. So 35 divided by 14, and then I'll put on the side here times 22. And right there, the answer is 55. Okay, the other way I could write this is I could write this side with R and S, put a line over it, and it just means the side RS equals 55. So either of these are ways you could write it, okay? Okay, so now I'm gonna do one more example in the notebook. Move this over here. All right, so this one, what I'm gonna do to draw this is I'm gonna do one line like that, and then another line like that. Okay, so just make two lines that cross. This is the easiest way to draw this. And the lines that are past this point to the left, I make them shorter. These are longer. So I'm making these a bit longer than this side. I just connect these together and connect these together. Okay, so just make two lines, cross them, make these two lines longer. These are, I'm sorry, shorter over here, longer over here. Okay, so this is going to be P, Q, H, and G. And then the letter in the middle is F. And right here is going to be 72. 84 will go here. The missing side is right here, QF or FQ. And then the statement is going to be FQH is similar. Remember, that means similar, not congruent, to FQP. Okay. And pause. Actually, I got one more. This side is also 84. So make sure you get that in there as well. Same thing, I need to look for that missing side. And I know that like these two triangles are connected now, but I'm still going to solve it the same way I did up here. I still have a statement to follow, and I still have a smaller triangle and a bigger triangle. So I'll still use the same idea. All right, so this is the missing one. Again, I'll label that X. Now I've got to figure out the corresponding sides. So this side is FQ or QF. That would be this one here. And it says that FQ, did I write that down right? Oh, sorry. That would be this one here, my bad. FQ over on the right, that's this side. Oh, you know what? I realized, I apologize. I wrote down the wrong letters. My bad. This is supposed to be not a Q. The first one's not Q. That one is G. My fault. My eyes tricked me. So that's a G, that's a Q. Okay, so again, the missing side is FQ. That is FQ on the second part of the statement. So that means that the first two letters on the other side are the corresponding side, FG. That means that these two sides basically correspond, all right? And then the other two sides, which would be this side right here, PF. PF, which is, if you notice, the P is over here and the F is over here. Okay, so that means that H and the F are the corresponding side, because it's the first and the last letter here, and it's the first and the last letter here. So those two sides correspond. So we'll use that to set this up. Okay, so now again, always start with X. Put it over your corresponding side. Okay, then I go to the other part of that first triangle, put that on top as well. And then I use the corresponding side to the 72, which is also 84. And you guys could probably take a guess, by the way. If these are both 84 on the bottom and that's 72, you could probably take a guess as to what X equals right now. Okay, let's multiply both sides by 72. Oh, my bad, not 872, 84. My fault. Not on my A game this morning. So those cancel there. And if you notice, that also has 84 on the bottom. So that means these will also cancel. And if you already might have guessed it, it equals 72. Okay. Which makes sense. I mean, if these two sides are the same, then that must mean that these two sides are also equal. Okay. All right. So I'll pause the video, let you guys get